Y'all should have seen me taking the YouTube thumbnail for this video. I'm going like this. Like I did so many different poses and I couldn't figure out like how to pose for smelling a pad. So I recently did a poll on my Instagram stories asking people if they were concerned about cloth pads having a smell and if that's the main reason that they are like holding back on jumping in, because nobody wants to have a nasty smelly pad, right? The result of that poll was about 50-50. 50% of the people said, no, I'm not worried about the smell at all. And then 50% of the people did say that they were worried that cloth pads would have a smell. So they weren't sure if they wanted to try them out yet. Do cloth pads smell? That question is the top concern. I have seen it thousands of times on all of my videos. Ooh, that's gotta stink. Ooh, I know that bag smells. And ooh, I know nobody wants to walk around with a smelly pad in their bag or in their purse. That is the first thought that a lot of people have whenever it comes to talking about reusable cloth pads. The reason that people automatically assume that it's going to smell is because we have been programmed for so long to believe that our periods are disgusting, and we've also been programmed to think that cloth pads would smell because you've only ever known for pads to smell from a disposable pad. When you bleed on one of these disposable pads, it does smell. Inside of one of these pads are tons of chemicals. And when you're bleeding on one of these, the iron from your blood mixes with these chemicals and creates a smell, and a smell that's pretty gross. We wad it up, we wrap it up, and we throw it away and take the trash out and just throw it in a garbage can, and then it goes into the oblivion or the landfills. Cloth pads do not work the same way. The unanimous consensus is that these are going to smell because we are programmed to know that these do smell. But that's not the case. There are no chemicals in cloth pads, and therefore you will not have a smell anything like this one. So period blood does have its very own little personalized scent that comes out of your body. But it's not the same scent that you get after it's been mixed on a pad like this. Because cloth pads are made from fabric, they are breathable. And so while you're bleeding on this, it's going to rotate air throughout there instead of blocking the airways with plastic and sticky stuff. The answer to your question, do cloth pads smell? The answer is no. And I will tell you, I can't even remember what that smell smells like because it has been so long since I've used one of these that I can't remember the smell. There is never a smell in my menstrual bag. The way I wash my cloth pads is I take them off. If they're pretty icky, I give them a cold rinse. If they look like they're just fine, I don't do anything. I just take it and I put it in a menstrual bag, and then they sit there in the menstrual bag until my period is over. And they are perfectly fine. It's not unsanitary, and there is no smell. This is a menstrual bag. This is the type of bag that you would use to put your used cloth pads in after you've bled on it. It zips up. It's going to be smell-proof, liquid-proof, and it's going to be safely secured in this bag throughout the remainder of your period. Once you do take your bag to go wash your pads, and if you want to learn how to wash your pads, I have a whole separate video on that. But once you do take your pads and dump them in the machine, you're still not going to smell them. There are no chemicals in cloth pads to mix with the iron in your blood in order to create that smell we are also used to when it comes to these, or even tampons. Tampons have a smell as well, because there are chemicals in tampons. Some companies that make organic pads, the smell is going to be a lot less on those as well because there are not as many chemicals inside of those. The only possibility that you would have a smell on a cloth pad would be if you have a yeast infection, a UTI, or even vaginosis. And those types of infections down there can create a smell, which there's nothing that we can really do about that anyways. So take it from me or not, cloth pads do not have a smell. Your bag of pads do not have a smell. And it's going to be very hard to make you believe that or understand it until you've done it yourself. Most people won't do it because they think they're going to smell. But once you realize there is no smell after using cloth pads for the first time, then you will once be convinced. The cloth pad community will also be able to tell you that there is no smell on their cloth pads, and it is nothing like using these at all. When it comes to smell or scent, it's just gone. It's non-existent. So there's your answer. Cloth pads do not have a smell. It is strange. It is a phenomenon because you would think when you open up this bag that it's just gonna, oh, stench, full of just disgusting period blood. and it's not. It doesn't. There's no smell. Believe it or not, surprise, surprise. Fabric is so breathable that any of the sweat and all of the stuff that comes out of you down there is going to get air through to it and keep it cool. Cloth pads like mine that are made with the Zorb are also going to inhibit any smells, any bacteria growth, because the Zorb is so powerful in keeping all of that stuff at bay when it comes to smell or bacteria, any of that. The Zorb keeps that killed off and killed away. So pads with Zorb are going to be the best fabric available when it comes to needing something that can handle the worst case scenario. Okay, so that's it for today's video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you believe me or you don't believe me, put it in the comments below. If you use cloth pads, say hi in the comments and let me know that this is you're on your cloth pad journey and how long you've been doing it for. I've been using cloth pads for 10 or 12 years now. I want to say about 12 years. And I have some pads from the very beginning from 12 years ago that I still use to this very day from 12 years ago. And they still don't smell, they still look brand new, and they still work just as great as the day that I bought them. So I recently did oh my God, why is this so hard? Story, poll, nope, start over. Okay, smell. That's why we think these are going to smell. Start to scratch it. The unanimous pads are breathable and scratch that. There is no iron less than what you're used to with just a regular